Welcome, travelers, to my realm of nightmares. Allow me to be your personal assistant. Come in, take a seat, get comfortable. For when you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.
When I was 14 years old, I somehow convinced my parents I was capable of handling a puppy all on my own, and I'm so happy that I did. One day, while walking in from school, I found a stray black, scruffy pup on the side of the road. It was odd because the previous owners had left him in a box, but kept his name tags on him with a tiny whistle with a C engraved and attached to the collar. Why would somebody ever leave a dog on the side of the road is beyond me. Scum, I said aloud to myself. He was completely unharmed, thankfully, but was in desperate need of a bath and love. The name tag read out Kane. What an interesting name for such a small pup. I thought I couldn't leave him there, so I did what any other decent human would do. I brought him home. He was so small that I was able to carry him home without any trouble. He was a good boy, obedient, friendly. He was mine. I arrived home with Kane, and after begging for hours, my father finally gave in. It honestly didn't take much convincing my mother to let me keep him. She had a soft spot for animals. So, with that, I washed him up, and we drove to the local pet store to buy all the necessities. He became very attached very quick. After only a week, we became best friends. Kane was healthy and growing at a rapid speed. I had no clue what kind of pup he was, but at the rate he was growing, I'm sure he'd be at least 100 pounds fully grown. When we asked the vet, she had guessed that he's some kind of Belgian sheepdog mix, but couldn't quite put her finger on it. She said he seemed a bit different than any other dog. He was extremely protective over me, the absolute perfect guard dog. Whenever someone even looked at me wrong, he would growl, and then they'd back off. I tried out the whistle a few times, but he seemed unresponsive to it. It was cool looking, so I made it into a necklace and wore it around my neck, never taking it off. So, you're probably wondering to yourself, why am I taking the time to write about my pup? Well, just wait. I had to give you the backstory first. Fast forward to a few months. A well-dressed man on the TV spoke. 4 children have gone missing in the town of Maran, India, within the last week. The kidnapper is still at large. There have been no clues or possible suspects at this time. Please remember to abide by the newly instituted curfew set by Sullivan County. Stay safe, Sullivan. My mother's eyes were glued to the television. I have never seen her so panicked in my life. She constantly reminded me to take my phone off silent as soon as the school day was over, and to never walk home alone. That was a hard one, since I had 0 friends at school. I did not want to lie, but I knew if I told her I was walking home alone, she'd make me take the bus. And that would be its own form of torture. Plus, there's just something about walking home alone that made me feel better about my existence. So I shook my head and promised. Big mistake. My walk home started out as any other. I went down the hill, crossed a small pond, and made my way into the woods. It was the shortest route, and quite frankly, the most peaceful. As I continued my walk, I heard leaves crunching behind me. I quickly whipped around, but no one was there. I picked up my pace just a bit. The quicker I walked, the louder the footsteps behind me became, till suddenly they stopped. I made a mad dash for the road, but just as I was about to step onto the pavement, something from behind grabbed me. I tried to scream, but they covered my mouth so tightly. I kicked, and I tried to bite, but to no avail. I did not get a good look at the person who grabbed me, mainly because I was trying to fight for my life. And to this day, wish I never saw him. When I finally did catch a glimpse of his deformed, mangled face, I felt a sickening feeling in the pit of my stomach. He dragged me by my hair to an old abandoned RV deep in the woods. He threw my phone and my backpack into a pile with the other backpacks. The sight, straight out of a horror movie. This was it, I thought. I'm going to die here. He dragged me into the RV. I saw 3 more kids around my age, hanging from the side of the RV, bound but not gagged for some reason. 3 out of the 4 of them? I remember from the news story. I tried not to think of where the 4th one was in fear of going into a full-on panic attack. Did he do something stupid? Did he piss them off? Did they just kill him for sport? My mind was racing. 4 days had passed. The other kids and I were given nothing to eat except for moldy bread and what looked like water from the toilet. I couldn't eat. But if we refused the food, the maniac would carve a piece of our flesh out and eat it in front of us. This is my life now. My thoughts went to my parents, to Kane. I missed them so much. It hurt. The only piece I had left of them was the dog whistle around my neck, tucked under my shirt. I desperately needed to feel close to them again, so, without even thinking, I used my teeth to grab the whistle and blew on it as hard as I possibly could, knowing full well that nothing would come of it. I quietly sobbed as I hung tied to the wall, succumbing to my fate. As I looked around the dingy, musty RV, I felt completely hopeless, waiting there like a piece of meat to be slaughtered. And just then, I heard the most inhuman sound I've ever heard my entire life. At that moment, I knew my life was coming to an end. The roof of the RV was ripped open with one swift motion. All I could see were the trees that surrounded us and an animal. No, a beast that was responsible for the undoing of the RV. The creature was standing tall on 2 hind legs. He had to be at least 9 to 10 feet tall, ripping through the RV, growling that inhuman growl. His midnight black fur and long snout made him look something of a werewolf. He was hyper-focused on nobody else but the kidnapper. The kidnapper looked terrified, but it seemed as though the creature was familiar to him. With one swift slap of his ginormous paw, the creature split the kidnapper into 2 pieces and devoured him right before my eyes. As happy as I was that the kidnapper was dead, I was fearful for what the animal had in store for us children. The beast focused his attention on me next. I was trembling and begging him not to hurt me, to please help us, who were innocent. The beast's face turned from rage to a soft smile. He gently removed my restraints and patted me on the head. As he patted me on the head and let out the words, "Good boy," he pointed to my whistle to indicate that this was my saving grace. He snarled, "Blow the whistle!" I blew the whistle, and that 9-feet beast shrunk down to a normal-sized Kane. Kane had saved me. He saved all of us that night. I later realized the whistle only works if I'm in trouble. That's why he was unresponsive when I blew it. He was only a few inches away from me. Boy, has that whistle saved me time and time again. Kane is my best friend I've ever had. He will always be my good boy. My good, kidnap, murderer, killing boy. Tonight's story was A Good Boy by Danie Dreadful, and was day 4 of my 13 Days of Halloween. Please check out her channel, as she's a fantastic author and narrator and a good personal friend to this channel. Her links will be in the description below. Hey, did you know I have merch? Yeah, crazy, right? But I do. And if you would like to walk around representing my realm and gaining me new travelers, the links will be in the description below. As always, I'd like to say a special thank you to my lovely Patreons, to 42 Reads, Rando Calrissian, Pam, Sidaphine, the Midnight Bard, Creepy Clown Girl, Mia Mina, Philia Noctis, Hair Raising Narratives, and Spooky Boo Scary Storytime. If you'd like to join these lovely travelers but are light on my fire, you can do so by becoming a Patreon as well. The support is always appreciated but never expected. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you're new, and ding that bell for all future content.
But as always, travelers, once you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.